Hey, what's going on, guys? The Langbanger here. I have another profile for you. Yeah, shocker. This is two videos, I think, back-to-back weeks, maybe 2 and 3 weeks. I don't know the time frame. But yeah, new profile for you, and it's Numeron Egyptian Gods. So, right as that structure deck came out a couple months ago, I was just doing a lot of researching and just trying to figure out what is the best way to utilize the Egyptian gods? Because obviously, who would not want to drop those monsters on the field and just beat somebody? So this is, I feel, I don't want to say the most consistent, but in regards to getting three monsters out to tribute for an Egyptian god, I think that Numeron does it the best. That's my opinion. But I also feel like there's a lot of utility here too, because even if you don't have the plays with the Egyptian gods, you can still Numeron OTK them. So that's pretty cool. So let's just go right into it. I kind of do have a proxy extra deck. I took my build that I used in a local tournament a few months back, just took out some cards. So I do have the extra deck still, but there's a couple cards that's not even legal to use. I mean, you can use them, but there's no way to summon them because of what I had before in the deck. So you have the three Slifer the Sky Dragon, you have three Obelisk the Tormentor, you have a Winged Dragon Ra, and you have a Winged Dragon Ra Sphere Mode. I don't know, kind of weird ratios, but I, of course, wanted to use three Obelisk, three Slifer. Slifer is actually pretty cool in this deck because you draw a lot of cards. So Slifer can get pretty big. With the way that the game has been over the years, you know, you'll see sphere mode be used from time to time. So actually, if you get the sphere mode back, you actually can use the effect. So that's kind of cool. So, you know, that might be, you know, more so just for funsies, but, you know, that's up to you if you want to cut those or not. Then you have three Numeron Wall. You have three Planet Pathfinder. So those are all the monsters. So pretty much the deck that I had before, it was just pure Numeron. And if you took out all the Egyptian gods, like you would add Cypherine Gammas, you would add like, I had Lava Golems, I think I had a Gamma Seal. So yeah, that's up. Onto the spells, you have three Numeron Network. Definitely want to see that. Two Calling, I kind of wanted to go with three. You could certainly do so. I'm sure you could cut a card, but I don't really envision you going through three. But then also you would need, what's that, 12 monsters in the extra deck, so you would have to cut cards in there too to do that. So three card advance. So this card's pretty interesting. So I wanted to find other ways to do an additional summon, because once you Numeron Network, dump the Calling, summon from the extra deck, you can either end on an Appaloosa, you can OTK them, or you can tribute for an Egyptian god, depending on what your hand is, right? So that's pretty cool. Now, what's even cooler about this is this deck has quite a bit of drawing power at times, so you get to stack your deck. That's pretty cool, and then you get the additional tribute summon. So I just thought that was cool. There's not a whole lot of cards in the game that can give you the additional tribute summon. So you then have three Soul Crossing. So this card's insane. I mean, on top of the Egyptian cards, of course, being from the original show, once I read this card, I was like, yeah, I need to pick these cards up. So immediately you can tribute three of your opponent's monsters to drop an Egyptian god. So how can you not like that? Moving on, you have three Memories of Hope. So, you know, as I stated, you could summon four from the extra deck, boom, draw four. And then ideally, you're looking for the Soul Crossing and then one of the Egyptian gods. Not saying necessarily you'll be able to do all that in one turn after, you know, popping off, but pretty much just look at your hand and figure out, you know, what path you want to go down. Or you can have Soul Crossing and an Egyptian god for next turn if somehow your opponent has three monsters, or just they start to beat on you and you're losing. So that's up. The true name. So This is a really neat card. You can declare one card name, excavate the top card of your deck, and if it is the declared card, add it to your hand. Then you can add your hand or special summon one divine monster from your deck. So that's really cool. Partly that's why I wanted to use card advance, right? But then also I was thinking of using Plague Spreader Zombie. There's also not a lot of cards in the game that lets you stack a card to the top of your deck. So I just thought that that was pretty cool. So then I just have some random one-ofs. Card destruction, you normally wouldn't see this, but you just want to dig, see cards, see your combos. 1-for-1, you want to get to the Numeron wall. I was kind of iffy on that because essentially you have the planet pathfinders. You got a lot of ways to get to your field spell, but you have terraforming, you have set rotation, you have Mound of the Bound Creator. I was kind of iffy on this, but I figured there may be situations where this would come up, the effect. Typically people will just use, if they're using set rotation, they will use a field spell that you can give to your opponent, and then they can't flip it up because there are some cards that says, add this from your deck to your hand. It doesn't say you may, or it doesn't make it optional or anything, just for anyone that was, wondering why people use random field spells. So I don't know. Why not? Kind of goes with the Egyptian god theme too, in a way. You have Called by the Grave. You have Field Barrier. So that's not a card you would typically see in this deck, but the fact that your Numeron network is so important. You don't want to get hand trapped either, get it sent to the graveyard, whatever. So you want to try to protect it. Unfortunately, if someone used Cosmic Cyclone, this ain't gonna do squat, but kind of is what it is. Next up, you have Perform a Pal Popper Up. Just more draw power. Pot of Desires, and then I was left with one card, or one slot left, and I went with Thunder Force Attack. So I think there's just a card for Slifer and a card for Obelisk. I don't know if there's one for Raw yet, to where it says if you control a face-up Raw, you can do this. I might be wrong on that, but I'm not even going big on Raw anyway, so it kind of doesn't matter what the card did anyways. But this is better than the Obelisk one, because the Obelisk one says while you control like an Obelisk, you can negate the effect of a monster face up on the field. Then I think it says destroy all spell and traps on the field, which, that is good, but I would just say people nowadays don't really use spell and traps. So it's kind of just why I went with this. But drawing cards, really good stuff. So, and like I said, I can show you a random extra deck. This is what I used at a tournament like months ago. You have Nightmare Unicorn. Let me see. You have Saruja, you have Infinitrack, Megaclops, you have Avramax, you have Apollosa, and then you have two of each of the Numerons. I didn't sort them, so don't kill me. I did have these two in the extra deck, but obviously you can't use them, right? Because I was using Sideframe Gamma, and I was using the Rainbow, or the Neos Fusion package. So just consider those two blanks. I really don't know what you would put in there. One really good card is the Egyptian God Slime. It's a fusion. I don't really think that would fit in this deck because you're already trying to do a whole lot of stuff, but that's up to you. So, by no means, this is not a highly competitive deck, but, it's just very nostalgic, and I just wanted to find a way to summon the Egyptian gods very easily. And if you can't kill them with Numeron, you can god them. So, sounds good to me, right? So, thank you guys for watching, and have a good day. Peace.